Okay, so the last couple of days we have learned and have been talking about exponents. We have added our exponents using the multiplication property, and we have multiplied our exponents by using a power to a power. So today we are going to use that information and move forward, and we are going to be talking about zero and negative exponents. So let's talk about what you already know. So 2x cubed times negative 4x to the 6th power. Remember, we are going to multiply our coefficients, which would be negative 8. And since we are multiplying two expressions, we are going to add our exponents. So I would get negative 8x, 3 plus 6 is 9. Okay? So on this problem, I'm going to add my exponents. Now, on the next one, 3x squared y to the 4th, this whole expression is cubed, which we're raising it to the 3rd power. So, again, I'm going to break it down. I'm going to take my 3, my coefficient, and I'm going to raise that to the 3rd power. X squared times 3 and y to the 4th times 3. So 3 cubed, remember it's not 3 times 9, it's 3 times 3 times 3, which is 27, x to the 6th, y to the 12th. So when we are multiplying expressions, we add our exponents. When we are raising from one power to another power, we multiply our exponents. Okay? Let's see if I can fix this a little. It'll be a little bit better, hopefully. And I'm going to try and see if I can get y'all to see this better. There we go. Okay, so step 2, zero and negative exponents. If you end up with an exponent of 0, then it is equal to 1. Okay, so here's an example. X to the 0 power is 1. With the exception, 0 to the 0 power is undefined. Okay? If you have a negative exponent in the numerator, you change it to a positive exponent in the denominator. If you have a negative exponent in the denominator, change it to a positive exponent in the numerator. So when I say change it to a positive in the numerator or the denominator, you are actually moving it. Okay? So let's look at step 3. 2 divided by x to the negative 3 power. So this is a negative exponent in the denominator. I'm going to move this up to the numerator and change the sign. So what is this going to look like? 2x cubed. Okay? X to the negative 5 powered. So anything that is by itself, if we want to make it into a fraction, we always put it over 1. So we can say that this is over 1. Well, since this is in the numerator, I'm going to move down and change my sign. So what is this going to look like? You're just going to flip 1 divided by x to the 5th power. Okay? Okay, so now we have rewritten each expression with positive exponents. Now I'm going to simplify, and then I'm probably going to have to do some rearranging here as well. So 2x to the negative 6 power. So I'm going to move this down and change the sign. So now I'm only going to move this part right here. So 2 divided by x to the 6. Okay? Again, 2x to the negative 1. We're going to move down. And change the sign. So 2 over x. And I do not have to put that 1 right here. I do not have to put a positive 1 exponent because we already know that an variable that is by itself represents 1. Okay? All right. So let's get into some work. Move this up. Okay. Step 5. 4x squared y cubed z to the 11th power. Well, if we remember what we wrote earlier, anything to the power of 0 equals 1. So what does all of this equal? 1. So just like 2x to the 0 power be 2 times 1, this would equal 2. Okay? Now, why does this equal 2 and this equal 1? Why? Because this whole expression is raised to the 0 power. That's why this whole thing is equal to 1. Why is this different? Because x is the only thing that is raised to the 0 power. So x to the 0 power is 1, and 2 times 1 equals 2. So we need to be very careful when we are working these problems. Okay, 2x squared raised to the power of negative 5. Now, if we remember what we did before, raising a power, we multiply. So I'm going to distribute this negative 5 to all of my powers. Okay? So here, I'm taking my negative 5, 2 to the negative 5th power, nothing different than what we did yesterday or the day before, x squared to the negative 5 power. Okay? The only difference here is that these are negatives. And when I have a negative, can't see that. When I have a negative, I need to change the sign. If it's in the numerator, move it to the denominator, or vice versa. So here, I'm going to put a 1 in the numerator. I have 2 to the 5th power, and x, this would actually be 2 times 5, which is 1 over 2 to the 5th power, x to the 10th power, which, simplified, is 1 divided by 32, x to the 10th power. Okay? All right. 3x squared divided by x to the negative 4th power. Okay, so in my denominator, I have a negative. So I am going to move up and change sign. So here I'm going to get 3x squared, x to the fourth power. Now, this is a multiplication. When I am multiplying expressions, I add my exponents. So 3x to the sixth. And remember, we can only combine if my bases are the same, which I've got x's for each one. You will have some homework attached, and let me know if you have any questions.